So good to me.
This week on It's a Free Country, we're taking a look at a time when there was a dismal economy, an unpopular incumbent president, and a Southern governor who was not tested looked to be one of the top candidates to try to oust him. It sounds a lot like today, but it was 1992, the year when Ross Perot was able to break through and launch a significant independent effort for president. Since there's some clamoring happening about a third-party candidate this time around, we took a look back at the Perot campaign to see how he was able to break through. Perot's platform always had three parts: campaign reform, things like term limits, economic nationalism, and deficit reduction, reducing the national debt.
We cannot pay off the $4 trillion debt, balance the budget, and have the industries of the future and the high-paying jobs in this country without having the revenue. We're going to go through a period of shared sacrifice.
The debt issue is really what ended up getting traction. Perot wanted to run on some other things, focus on other things, but deficit is where he got his traction. In fact, in parts of the summer of 1992, he led the field over George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton. Political scientists who've studied how third-party candidates are able to break through talk about two things. There's the push away from the two major parties, and there's the pull of the independent candidate. So in Perot's case, Perot supporters were looking at the Democrats and the Republicans and saying, no, I don't like them, they're not my choice, and Perot was providing an alternative. The Perot campaign organizationally ran into some challenges. They had this sort of ragtag group of supporters that the campaign had difficulty organizing, and there were some strategic differences about how the campaign should be run. Perot actually dropped out of the race before he rejoined in October 1992. He ended up with 19% of the vote, but really what's important about Perot is he absolutely changed the political conversation about how deficit and the national debt was talked about by the two major parties. That's an impact that you saw with Bill Clinton. He brought on a Perot economic advisor, but most significantly in the Contract with America, that Newt Gingrich-led effort that led to the Republicans taking over the House in 1994. And when political scientists went back to look at what had happened there was actually a link between the percentage of Perot supporters and the likelihood that a Republican got elected to the House. And that's why political scientists, when they talk about third parties, they say that they're basically like bees. Once they sting, they die. Because what happens is a third-party candidate, if he's effective, talks about an issue that resonates with voters, and then the two major parties work to fold that in so they can get those people back into the two-party system. So when you think about this year, 2012, if you're an independent candidate, a moderate candidate who wants to appeal to independents, and what you're saying is, I'm going to break Washington gridlock, I'm going to get the national fiscal house in order, that's not something that's going to be enough for a successful campaign, as Perot shows us, because both Barack Obama and all the Republicans in the field are talking about those two major issues.